Let's go.
And we are live.
Yeah. Every
Welcome
time,
back.
down to the wire.
Welcome back.
I can see why like rock stars in them always show up whenever the fuck they feel like it. Because it sucks having to be like 3:30, we have to start. It's like, no, we'll make them wait.
Yeah,
we'll make them
start
wait.
when we start. We're only a couple minutes late today. But greetings, everybody. Welcome to episode 58. We're almost to 60.
Yeah.
Should we do something special?
No.
Yeah, no one watches
I think we do something special for 75, and that's it.
Ooh.
Yeah, that'll be a good one.
Why 75?
There's no reason.
Yeah, fair enough. Sounds good to me.
It's my favorite number, that's why.
All right, what are we drinking today?
We
Pop it.
have Echo Spirits, as always, their Engineer Series bourbon. So this is like their specialty stuff.
I'll hand it to you for your...
I actually have to read this. I probably should have read this. Engineer Series is the bourbon blending workbench and an homage to our founders' previous professions. We select the best mash bills from distilleries across the country and engineer them into limited, unique blends, treating whiskey like a chef treats ingredients.
Ooh.
So this is basically their burger of the week that they do probably like bi-monthly. I don't know how many of these. This specific one is batch 25C, and it's called Won't You Be My Neighbor? Probably a Mr. Rogers reference, I would imagine.
Could be.
And it is 59.2% or 118 proof.
All right.
So high octane, baby.
Yeah, get us a little cork pop. You were about to mess that up.
Yeah, that was probably the best part of the last podcast.
Ooh,
Oh,
it's nice.
just a little.
It's
Yeah,
nice.
let me get your glass.
Yeah, well, he pours these up. For topics today, we last week we actually said, hey, if you guys want us to talk about anything, throw us a comment, tell us what you want to talk about. And someone, Jack Coon, I believe, I don't know, I got it up later in the slides here, but
I don't think that
left-
was his name.
Yeah, it was something like that. All right, hold on.
Jack Coon?
Yeah, like raccoon. Hold on. Here we go. Jack Coon.
Oh, yeah. Kuhn. All right. There you go.
Anyways, Jack Coon said we should talk about the brewery district and all the bars that used to be down here because it was the go-to spot.
The
in
bomb diggity,
Columbus
as people would say back in the 90s.
back in the 90s. So that's what we're talking about. Kind of the peak of the brewery district and nightlife here in the 90s, and then what's to come, or what we're hoping is to come.
Yeah.
So we'll see.
And
All
the
right.
current sad state of affairs that it's
Yeah.
currently in, if not for
Inaugural
Smash
cheers.
Buddies, Inaugural
Haven't done that in
cheers.
a while.
I really should have rinsed this glass out.
I like how you sniff it, and I just go straight in every time. Molly LaRue says, audio and video are looking good. I forgot to ask. I'm getting too confident because
That's
we
brilliant.
haven't had any major issues lately, but
What'd you think of that?
thank you, Molly. It's fantastic.
It's really good.
It's quite good.
I love all their shit, man. It's so good.
It's
So
almost-
I'm curious. We gotta ask him, but I imagine so they select different barrels, and then when they bring it back, I imagine they do like more tinkering to the specific barrel. Because I know like Maker's Mark, they'll add like staves to some of their stuff, and they'll have like finishing series essentially. So they add a different flavor profile. You can do like applewood and all kinds of stuff. So I imagine that's kind of like same deal.
yeah, it is.
Just
For 118 proof, it's smooth.
yeah, seriously.
It is quite good. Little sips of that one.
Yeah, whew.
Brandon Goodyear sounds and looks crispy. Thank you,
Like
sir.
our tots.
Shout out to Brandon Goodyear for helping us along the way in getting to this point. You ready to jump
Yeah,
in?
how about you? We should do that as the soundbite. What do you have to say to Brandon Goodyear right now? Let's give him a
I
shout.
can't do
A
that
good
on
and
the spot.
proper. No, we don't want to do that.
No, I got you.
All right.
I'm going to tell I'm going to wrap this up in like a 2-minute story.
Yeah, I love this.
So long ago,
Hey, Brandon,
we had this
clip
idea.
this. Start recording.
Start screen recording on this one. No, a little over a year ago, we decided to start the podcast. And I don't remember if we talked to Brandon right at the beginning or if we just kind of jumped into it. I think we talked to Brandon right from the get-go.
Probably.
And
at least floated the idea.
He kind of laid it out. From what I recall, correct me in the comments if I'm way off here, but what I recall, he kind of laid out tiers of like, you can start recording with an iPhone. You can do an iPhone, some lights, and you can get this small recording device, which we end up getting. Or he's like, here's the $15,000 package if you wanted to buy everything and have it look like the Joe Rogan experience. So we started with an iPhone and a couple small lights and a recording device. And then I don't even remember. It was after we did the Bears Bagels episode where we had no audio.
The fishbowl fiasco?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So for some reason, the recording didn't work. We had no audio. And then I had to do it from just the iPhone audio, which was terrible. That episode's still up if you want to look at it. But then we upgraded to all the audio recording device, the Procaster.
Yeah, I mean, he basically
Rodecaster Pro
reduced our learning curve by like 1/10 of what it would be.
He kind of like built out the
stuff,
steps of growth for the podcast. It's like as you grow, upgrade this, as you grow, upgrade that. And kind of got us here. He said, haha, I am recording and clipping this right now. Testing a new tool. Sent you the intro clip already. Sorry,
Heck yeah.
Hard to read. It's too small over there. But yeah, pretty soon here, I think we're going to have multiple cameras.
I think multiple cameras. I mean, basically, every step of the way, any improvement we've done, it's kind of like he's been helping us.
Yes.
Invaluable. Honestly.
So if you think it looks good and sounds good, go check out Brandon Goodyear. He's got the Brandon Goodyear show.
Skip the basement step and actually get help because it is it's really complicated, believe it or not.
Yeah. I think we did it right, slowly growing over time because if we would have started with multiple cameras and the setup we have now, like it would have been impossible to try to learn all that. It would have been
crazy, yeah.
So we're doing it in baby steps because we have just small increments of time here and there to figure this stuff out.
And money.
Yeah.
That's another tricky thing is finding cash to be able to float all that stuff. But no,
I do like back when we had guests on, people would come in here and they're like, wow, this is like a legitimate studio. And we're like, Thank you. It is. Sure. It's getting there though. We're getting there slowly but surely.
So shout out Brandon Goodyear.
Yes.
Yeah.
Echo Spirits, Brandon Goodyear. Anyone else you want to shout out?
The Blue Jackets. Matthew Olivier.
He got a goal last night.
I know.
Almost two.
Almost number two. Big win last night over who'd they play?
Flyers.
The Flyers. Philly, that's right. No, I was watching like 3 games last night, so it kind of like all get mixed up in my
Did you have that up on ESPN where you could watch multiple?
No, I was just switching in between during the translation.
ESPN Plus does that where you can watch like 4 games on one screen.
Oh, shit. I didn't know that.
It's pretty legit.
Next time. Because the Red Wings were playing at the same time. And so I think I want to say the Islanders were playing and they lost too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Islanders, everyone lost last night except for us. Which is good for us.
Number 2.
Yeah, we got a big game coming up tomorrow against the Canadians.
Yep, we got to win that one.
But yeah, 11 games left in the season.
And we're squarely in the wild card right now, I believe.
No, we're number 2 seed.
In the division?
Yeah.
Overall?
Yeah, in the East.
Hell yeah.
Well, there's the 2 divisions. We're in Metropolitan or whatever one it is.
Yeah.
But we're number 2.
Fuck yeah.
Behind the Hurricanes, which we are only 9 points away, I believe, with 11 games left.
And we smushed them the other night. I think it was 5-1, wasn't it?
If we win every game from here on out,
we
might have a chance.
Yeah, dude.
We might have a chance.
I'm so excited. Are we going to a playoff game?
We cannot afford to go to a playoff game. But
I will sell. I have 2 kidneys. I think you only need 1. I will sell a kidney.
We got to know somebody.
$300.
If anyone's looking to buy a kidney to get
Let
us
us
to
know.
A playoffs game, I feel like we have to, man.
I think we do.
We've only been fans for a few years now, but it might never happen again.
It will. This is only the beginning.
Yeah. That's what I was telling Reno the other day. I'm like, man, if the Blue Jackets win the Stanley Cup this year, then I feel like it happened too soon. Since I started like being a fan. What would I do after that?
You hope
They already
they
made
do it, repeat it, do it 2,
Yeah, maybe.
try to make a dynasty. I
Or
don't know.
go on to be a Browns fan.
Yeah, don't do that.
No, I can't. I actually struggle watching football now after watching hockey so much.
Well, you also had such success with the Seahawks in their heyday, so it's kind of like
I know.
now you follow a team that's bad. You're
They
like,
won
"What the
when I
hell
was
is
a
this?"
fan, and then they won again when I wasn't really paying attention.
Yeah.
So,
Go Bills.
Yeah. All right, you want to jump into this thing?
Yeah, so going into the brewery district.
Yeah.
I mean, most people know the story on how we kind of like ended up here.
Yeah. Basically, we walked down here and we're like, this place is awesome. Why are there no businesses?
Yeah, buildings from the 1800s, like all brick, really freaking cool. You could see like how like there's relics of like when there was literally horse-drawn carriages in the area, and you could like map that out, and it's just unreal.
Yeah, and I feel like we're still learning like every week new history about what's down here.
New caverns and corridors in our basements and stuff.
And new customers coming in and just talking about, how it used to be. And for those of you who don't know, above our restaurant, there's a bunch of condos, and some of those people have been there for 20, 30 years.
Yeah, quite a while.
And even some of the people who work around here have been here since these businesses were around, and talk about how great it was, early to late 90s when it was hopping and popping. But we're not going all the way back to the brewery days. We've touched on that some before, the 1800s, but we're talking about the highlight of the nightlife in the brewery district. So basically,
as a cultural hub.
The cultural hub. It was the go-to spot in Columbus for several years before Short North and Arena District kind of took off. And stole a lot of the business from down here. But I was reading a Reddit thread earlier today where people were like, when Brewery District was popping, the Short North was like nobody wanted to go there because it was basically what the Brewery District is now, a couple spots, and it was really shady, and it's like you don't go out down there.
I think luckily the Brewery District's not that shady. From what I understand with the Short North, like it had a lot more issues with like the people around it.
Yeah.
And that's kind of like there's still conflict now even to this day because there's still a lot of like crime and shootings that happen over there just because they built it in an area.
I couldn't imagine it's wintertime. It's in the summer, the shootings always ramp up.
Yeah.
Once it gets hot and people get angry. But I couldn't imagine having shootings outside your establishment like every weekend.
No. I mean, a lot of them have like little metal gates because it's like they're going to get robbed.
Yeah.
I think.
Wild. But any Hoosers.
On a brighter note.
So we're like the first wave of bars that opened up in the brewery district that kind of started it was roughly around 1991 when I was born to 94. That included Ludlow's, Gibby's, Hagen's, Victory's, and Banana Joe's. Hagen's was actually in our building.
Yeah.
So 460 South Front, where we're located now, used to be Hagen's.
It still has the sticker, like the sign on the front window there.
Yeah, I took half of it off, but I left the top part.
Yeah.
One, because the ladder couldn't reach, and I was here by myself. And two...
Coward.
Yeah, that's pretty much the only reason.
One day. Number two is it's a historical landmark that you can't just take Hagen's away from these people.
Yeah, it's kind of cool.
Yeah.
People bring it up a lot, too. Victory's is the only one on that list that's still open.
That's crazy.
Which is crazy. They've been around for a hot minute.
Yeah, good for them.
So shortly after that, this is from 95 to 1999 is kind of when the peak nightlife happened. So that was Howl at the Moon opened up, Bannister Hall. So Howl at the Moon was in the same building we're at. And I got a slide coming up here you guys will be able to see that shows where all these places are. But Bannister Hall was over on High Street. The patio, no one really knows where it's at, but I found some information that shows kind of where it might have been.
Almost like a speakeasy.
Yeah. I don't think they were open very long. The Highbeck Tavern, still running today. Shadowbox Live, still running. And then Brewmaster's Gate. But there was roughly 10 to 15 bars.
Yeah.
In between kind of where Shadowbox is now and Victory's and Highbeck. Which, that's a lot of bars.
Seriously, yeah.
Now there's next to nothing.
No.
But, I mean, the three that were there in the 90s, outside of that, it's us, VHS Speakeasy, which have all only been around very recently.
Man, it's crazy that they all closed down in that 3-year stretch.
Yeah.
And that was right before like the 2008 financial crisis too. So like, I guess there was other rumblings that were happening here that wasn't just, I mean, I guess between Nationwide being built and the Arena District popping off and then OSU kind of like continuing to grow and then the Short North expanding, I guess it just suffocated everything down here.
Yeah. All that. So the Arena District in Short North was like 2004 to 2008. Is when those really started popping off.
Mm-hmm.
Both Gibby's and Howl at the Moon closed down here in 2004 and moved to the Arena District.
Mm.
But Ludlow's, Hagen's, Banana Joe's, Bannister Hall, and the Patio all closed between 2003 and 2006. So in those years, like everything left down here, which is, 3 years. Several businesses just disappeared. Only a few of them actually moved to the Arena District. Howl at the Moon just closed. Was that last year?
Oh, did they close?
Yeah, they closed without any notice. I mean, they have multiple locations. I think other out of state locations, but the Arena District location, they closed. It was one of those no notice things. Employees came in and there's a sign on the window, permanently closed.
Yeah, that's crazy.
But.
Do you know much about, like, were these just like bars? Did they have, I think they might have had food, but it was more just like pub food.
I think a lot of pub
like
food.
Peanuts and stuff like that, fried food.
Yeah. From what I have found, and there's not a lot of, I mean, the 90s aren't that long ago.
No.
But there's almost no, my plan was to find a bunch of pictures of these old places and put them up on here so you guys could see like what it looked like. But there was no photos. I mean, nobody had camera phones, but people weren't going around to the bars and
most of the information photos I've gotten about any of these places is just people who've been around Columbus for the last 30 years. Like, a lot of like the older people who will like catch a show at the Shadow Box and they'll be like, where'd everything go? I used to remember Gibby's and Ludlow's and all these places. Like they were wall-to-wall people. This alley was just full of people. And they're just like, what happened? And we kind of give them our rough story, but it's just like, everything just cultural shift.
Yeah, which you can see in the map that I'm going to pull up here in a second. You can see that there's like where our location was kind of like the center of everything that was happening. So like across the street from, it was Hagen's at the time, but across the street was Gibby's. And then in our building was Tommy Hegan's at one point and Howl at the Moon. And then you cross the street and there's 3 or 4 other bars, going towards Front Street. Go towards High Street and there's 3 or 4 bars right there. So we were kind of like the center where everybody was going back and forth between all those bars.
Yeah.
I saw long ago I found it somewhere on Google, a photo. I wish I would have saved it because I haven't found it since, but of our alleyway that was like an old photo.
With tons of people?
Full of people. And our whole patio was like all tables and chairs and had people in it. Don't know where I saw it. I didn't save it.
Probably either Double Happiness or Thai Basil. They had a lot of photos on their stuff.
Yeah, it could have been.
Or maybe their Instagram page. I know Double Happiness had like a decent chunk of stuff.
Yeah, and Double Happiness came in later. Yeah, so basically after
everyone left and there was a few remaining people that were like, I think it was like very counterculture. Just like low key bands and stuff.
Yeah, and that was one of the big things that happened down here. Ludlow's had live music. Gibby's had live music. Brewmaster's Gate had live music. Howl at the Moon was dueling piano bar. So a lot of like the whole vibe down here was music.
Yeah.
And it's like that. I don't think there's an area really like that in Columbus anymore.
I mean, the Short North does have music venues, but I don't think that's like what it's known for.
Right.
Especially, I haven't spent a lot of time at Short North, but to me, it just like nowadays just seems like a college nightclub kind of area. Mm-hmm. They have a lot of good restaurants and stuff, but it's like a mixed bag of stuff. It's not like one thing. It's just like the hip part of town.
Yeah, it's like restaurants during the evening that turn to nightclubs.
Yeah, and they've got live music and stuff down there, but it's not like, this is like the cultural center of music or whatever. I don't think.
Yeah, and music has changed, and in the 90s, it was a lot. From what I've been reading about down here, was like a lot of like underground bands.
Yeah.
That were that was the popular thing down here.
But what was that major band that came out of Columbus? I'm sure they performed down here a few times, but I can't remember. They just did a music video. I'm sure all of the Columbus natives are yelling at us right now. It's like an indie band.
Oh, I thought you were talking about Starset.
No. Well,
Right.
them kind of, but not who I'm talking about. Like the Black Key, not the Black Keys.
No, I know exactly who you're talking about.
Do you know what the name is?
But now I can't think
Can
of
we
it.
pause this and figure that out?
Yeah. Hold on.
Quick break.
No, someone tell us in the chats. What's the name of the band? Columbus band.
They did a music video of like a lot of the venues that used to play here. They're like a pretty popular. Like, I want to say they had a number in their name, like 21.
Yeah.
21 Pilots.
Yeah, 21 Pilots.
Hey, I can't believe I got that.
I can't believe it either.
That's insane.
It was like on the tip of my brain.
But I bet
embarrassed that
because
can't
they were.
remember.
That's probably around the time. I bet you they probably played at Double Happiness at least once or something. That's kind
Probably.
of cool. Yeah.
Yeah, 21 Pilots. Nice job.
Thank
I'm
you.
impressed.
That's like, if people don't know, I am probably the most musically illiterate person that's out there. I never listened to it, so
Yeah.
the fact that I got that is insane.
Yeah, and I'm horrible with names.
Yeah, two
I'm like,
buffoons.
I know
out
what
here.
you're, I know what you're
Yeah.
talking about. I don't know what it is.
Oh, we're
So, anyways, back to important stuff here. 2004, 2008, the Arena District, Short North, kind of had their takeover. Everybody left Brewery District. Like we mentioned, the only ones left, Shadowbox, Victories, and Hybex. But since then, there's been several other places. I don't even think this is a complete list, but Rock Mill Tavern, which is by us, Basil Thai,
Making a
used to be
comeback.
in our location. They're making a comeback now in VHS. World of Beer was also in Rock Mill. There was a pizza place in there. What's that called?
Bandit.
Bandit Pizza was very short-lived there, I think.
That place has changed hand, and it was going to be a barbecue place, and I think that lasted not even a month.
Yeah, I think they just
signed a lease and then ghosted them.
Yeah.
Like I think they have new equipment in there.
That, and I believe that was a barbecue place out of Marysville.
Yeah.
I heard from someone. But
Double Happiness.
Double Happiness, Tommy Keegan's, The Brick. Tommy Keegan's,
I hear that name all the
The-
time.
they were closer to like 2010, I believe. I have to look at my notes. They were closer
Were
to
they
like
in our
2010.
alleyway? Is that where they were? Do you know?
Yeah. Like
Okay.
Precision New Media.
Yeah.
They were down in one of those. So when
Open
they
Factory
left,
Group.
I think they were a big soccer bar. If I
Oh,
believe
like an
right.
Irish or like a British Irish kind of thing.
Yeah.
Pub.
I believe they were
Pub.
like a soccer pub.
Mm.
Was kind of their vibe. But they left. It was supposed to, a restaurant called White Rabbit was supposed to open there. And
Real
I
farm to table kind of.
believe the owner died
What?
or something like that. Something crazy happened and it never opened.
I thought it was like
Funny.
COVID.
No, I
Was this way before that?
I don't even know the date on that. Actually, it never happened. It was
Yeah,
just
yeah.
like
It's just
there's like an article that said White Rabbit's supposed to be opening and then it never happened.
yeah.
But yeah, I heard some local rumors, but I believe the person passed away. One of them that was involved in it, and I think it just nothing happened. Again, don't quote me on that because half the stuff we say on this podcast is completely made up on the spot.
Hell yeah.
The Brick's another one. That's where VHS is now.
So that kind of takes us from 08 to now, right? Those are like all the most recent stuff.
Yeah, I got the. Let me pull this up on here.
Ooh, I'm off
Ooh.
camera. I just took my pants off. Can't see it.
Jesus, man.
I'm just kidding.
All right. I hope you guys can see this on here and can read it. If you're on your phone, probably going to be kind of a pain. But I put it up there anyway. So you can see Smash Buddies is up there if you're familiar with our location. Hagen's used to be in there. Howl at the Moon, Tommy Keegan's were all in that same strip there. And Gibby's, it's a little hard to see, but it's a really skinny building in between our building and the 12-story or whatever it is next to us. It's a long, skinny building. That was Gibby's and Double Happiness. And then across Front Street, you had Brewmaster's Gate down there. Banana Joe's, nobody really knows where it was at. There's some old Reddit threads of people saying they thought it was in the Shadow Box building on another side, but nobody really knew the location. I'm guessing everyone was too drunk down here on those nights to remember exactly where these places were.
Yeah.
But it's actually surprising. Like most of these places, there was no actual address. Like the patio, Ludlow's, I think they were in that building based on what I could find or around there. But it's kind of hard to say. And then on the top right of the picture, there's Victory's. Across the street was it Bannister Hall in Hybeck. So there was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, like 11 in the peak, just right there in that strip, which is a block and a half. I want to bring that back.
Do we know when the 500 building was made or built?
No idea. It's definitely newer.
Yeah.
Definitely newer. But let's go. We'll come back to that photo, I think, in our next section.
Yeah.
Talk about Fulton in front. But yeah, that's kind of all I really got on that. But it sounds like this place was awesome.
Yeah.
30 years ago.
Hell yeah.
And I think there's hopes for it to come back.
Why do you think it hasn't been able to regain a foothold in the area? Like, obviously everything kind of shifted, but like, it's a cool spot. Why do you think like none of these have come back? Like, why is it not an area that's like more popular? German Village is still popular. I guess you have other parts of High Street that are starting to like have popularity.
Yeah. Well, I mean, even if you look at when it all started, it's like 1 or 2 bars opened up and started gaining traction. And then it's like 2 or 3 more bars. And then in the next 5 years, it's like 7 or 8 more bars. You know, like that's kind of how it happened down here. It started with a few bars. And then within 10 years, there was 12, 15 bars or different event spaces down here. So I think
there hasn't been a concerted effort to like have enough movement down here that people can.
Yeah,
it's now a destination and not just one bar.
Yeah, and I think there's probably a little shell shock of people who are like, oh, it's abandoned. Like nobody's made it down there. I mean, we were told by someone who owns a bar around here, like, be very careful opening down there.
That's true, yeah.
Because no one survives. Like, you can't make it.
Yeah.
It's impossible. They essentially were like, don't do it. But we did it anyways, and here we are.
That was good advice, honestly. You should have listened, but here we are. Can we go to break real quick?
Yeah.
Sorry, guys. 1 second.
All right, we're back.
We're back.
Handling business and podcasting.
Yes.
But no, I kind of think that's how it happened. A few places came in.
Yep.
Everybody else was like, oh, this is a great opportunity. Jumped on it. And then the next big shiny thing happened. Everyone left. And then I think it's just left kind of a bad taste in everyone's mouth. You know? And I mean, we say this all the time. We're dumb enough to open down here. But I think most people looking at opening something down here, if you actually do your research, like, there's no nightlife, there's no foot traffic, there's a ton of potential things coming, but nothing currently going on, you know, so besides the Smash Buddies.
Yeah.
So.
No, I have a grand conspiracy for why everything left this area in the first place.
Ghosts?
Well, that's probably one of it, but that's not the main reason. The brewery district itself is actually sinking.
Ooh, that is possible.
Yeah. They say after the 500 building was built, like, I think it was in the 90s or maybe the late 80s. I don't actually know exactly when it was built, but you can like see different parts. That's like, it's sunk like 6 inches or so. And that's why a lot of the businesses that were here all left. And that's why a few other businesses that are about to leave too.
Yeah, there are certain buildings, like one we're sitting in right now, that has a heavy lean towards that building. I mean, you were trying to put a golf ball in here earlier.
Yes.
And you could not even set the ball on the ground without it rolling. I mean, there's probably, our room in here is about 12 feet wide, and there's probably a 3-inch difference on the floor.
Yeah.
Like when we had the table here before, it was completely lopsided.
Yeah.
Crazy.
So that's one of the theories is people have like, there's been enough like structural engineers around here that everyone's just like, nope.
No, thank you.
It's going to be underground in the next, 50 years.
I wouldn't be surprised. And all the construction that's going on.
Exactly.
Where they're just drilling more and everything's shaking. And the brewery district.
Well, it used to
just
be,
topple.
apparently like the Scioto, like the river, apparently it had a tributary. Is that what they call those? That like branched off into the brewery district. And so it was like, kind of like how, what's his face was talking about how, what is it, Franklin?
Oh, the floods?
Yeah, it's like a floodplain. So basically, like this area that we're on top of is like old river land, so it's all sand.
Yeah, wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah,
I know.
That would suck for us.
VHS is in like the lowest spot of the brewery district. Their bar is
the basement,
and then it goes an entire level behind or beneath that.
Yeah,
which is wild. So I mean, their floors in the basement are probably 30 feet.
Yeah.
20 to 30 feet below Front Street.
Yeah.
Which is crazy.
It's pretty far under there.
It's very low.
Yeah. Kind of crazy. We'll see. Maybe it is. Maybe it isn't. Hopefully it's not sinking too fast.
Yeah. Meh. Who cares? All right. Well, moving on to the future. That's the past.
Assuming it doesn't sink into oblivion.
Yes.
The future of the brewery district.
If there is a future.
Yeah.
What's it looking like? No, I think it's like we've said a bunch of times, it's hopeful for this area just because there's only so much land in downtown, and we're right next to downtown. Then like all these buildings are historic, so they're not going to, if they don't fall into the earth, they're not going to bulldoze them because they're all historic buildings. So somebody's going to come in here with the money and kind of revitalize a lot of these buildings and start putting them to use. I think it's a matter of time with the construction, the highways opening back up and the overpasses, that I think that was a big delay on at least the Front and Fulton project, which I've always called it the Fulton and Front, but it's apparently the Front and Fulton.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
No.
I don't know if they changed it.
I reject that. I don't like that.
I think maybe they changed it when it changed hands.
It's horrible.
It doesn't flow.
No.
Fulton and Front sounds luxurious.
Front and Fulton is just horrible.
Confusing.
Yeah.
It's confusing. But anyways, the Front and Fulton.
Yeah.
See, it's hard to say. Whatever that project is, apparently it's being ran or owned by McCabe Companies. But this is what I found today that they have up on their website, kind of what their plans for that area is. And I'll go back real quick on the map here so you can see. Oops, what am I doing?
I think you could just pull it up there.
I'm
Yeah.
going to do it here so you guys can actually see. So it's the bottom left buildings. There's like 5 buildings down there next to the Brewmaster's Gate. And then there's a huge parking lot behind there. So that's kind of the area we're talking about, which is just west of where our restaurant is.
It's a beautiful building, honestly.
No, it's insane. I would love to go
Vaulted
inside
ceiling,
and
just
check
like,
them out.
Yeah, they were gonna do a 5-star hotel in it for a while, and then that changed to something else, and then
It keeps changing.
someone died, and then another. Yeah,
I did. I made several phone calls today trying to be like a real journalist. I was like, you know what? I'm going to call people and be like, I'm going to talk about this on our podcast. Give me some info. And nobody answered the phone. No one called me back. But one guy did. And I was like, hey, doing a podcast episode. Love to talk to you about what's going on at this project. Do you have any information you can give me? And he said, nope. Just like that. I was like, all right, cool. Thanks, man. He's like, yeah, good luck. And hung up the phone. So I didn't get far in my investigative research here. But What I found on their website says they're planning on doing 42 loft apartments, 100,000 square feet of office space, 32,000 square feet of restaurants, probably, and bars. I mean, 32,000, that's like at least probably 7 or 8.
Yeah. At least.
Like 4,000 square feet's a big restaurant.
Yeah.
I would think. I mean, that's what ours is, and it's pretty good size. So several bars and restaurants, then event space, storage, 354 parking structure, and it's a total of 371,000 square feet, that space, though.
Dang, 106,000 square foot for offices. They can't even get the offices that are already here leased out.
Yeah, that's
How
like...
the hell are they going to get 106,000 booked out?
That is what we heard.
No, I know.
That they were looking at converting that 106,000 square feet of office to more apartments.
That would make sense, yeah.
Because
there's no chance.
Almost every single building around us right now has office space for lease.
Yeah.
And it's at actually a reasonable price.
Very reasonable.
Not that we were looking.
The brewery district is sinking, people. It's very reasonable.
Yeah. Good time to buy. They have a completion date of this project in
Next
2027, year. Which is crazy, unlikely, possible.
They're going to be right in line with the micro distillery that's being built across from us.
It's going to blow.
They're going to open at the same
year.
time.
Next year, guys, the year of the brewery district. But they're spending about $105 million on this project.
That's a lot.
But I can't even imagine what it would do to this area down here, though. Putting that in here would
transform
it. It would
overnight.
be insane.
Yeah.
Like
well, not overnight, whenever they built it, but
no. 5 months from that actually opening, I think every space down here would be gone.
See, the problem with the 2027 completion date is that road is not even going to be completed by then. High Street isn't going to be built. Like, well, not just Front Street, but the freeway there is not going to be done. Like, they still have to. Livingston still has to be like expanded another like 8 feet.
Yeah, and what they were saying on the website, I think it was like the early lease for apartments was going to start early 2027.
No.
So like I think they're working on apartments first.
Yeah, lock it in now.
Get some people in there paying rent, and then keep finishing everything else.
Yeah, I've heard they wanted to make Brewmaster's Gate a parking garage.
Yeah, they were gonna.
Which
that's the latest I've heard.
I hope they don't. Well, if they do, I want to like try to lease it out and do one huge concert as like a going away thing for the brewery district, because it is kind of like.
Bro, the insurance on that though. Have you seen their roof after the wind?
Is it crazy?
They just did. From what I heard, they just did a bunch of work on their roof, like patching it and fixing it.
Yeah.
And then that huge windstorm happened. And there was like a quarter of their roof that was hanging off the side of their building. It blew like the whole thing off. I don't want to be liable for people inside that thing, man.
We'll be all right. What are the odds?
Like, you have to wear a construction vest and a hard hat.
There's Porsches parked in there. I think if they're trusting enough,
it should be fine. But
it should be fine.
So that's supposed to be happening down here. There's a couple bars that are either for sale or for lease. Victories might have just sold. We were just talking about that.
I know that's what I've last heard is it did sell. I haven't heard any like details. I don't know if they had an agreement that they were going to buy it at a set price and still waiting for like the paperwork to get through, or where it is at that. But I've heard that there's a buyer for it.
Yeah. So Victories is either for sale or not for sale. Hybeck's for sale. The old H&M, which was also the old, I can't remember what it's called, Bannister something.
Yeah, the Bannister.
That place is also for lease. Rockmill Tavern still for lease. That place has been sitting there since before we were here.
I love that spot
like
too. It's so cool in there.
It's it's awesome.
It looks so
completely built out. It's like ready to go.
They have a brand new like coffee machine just sitting on that countertop.
Yeah, and they have like I think they have like 30 beer draft system too.
Yeah,
because it used to be the World of Beers. So they have a huge draft system, and it's a big place.
Tiny kitchen,
2 stories.
But, yeah.
It's got an upstairs bar too.
No, it's really nice.
It's pretty sweet. And then the distillery we've been talking about, this next to our building, it's supposed to be done any day now, but they haven't started yet. So,
Well, it was 18 months away from when we opened. So
yes.
I think they're still about 18 months away
Yes.
because they've done nothing.
Yet. It's coming though, folks. Yeah. It's coming. I am confident saying that was one of the big reasons we chose this location.
It was, yeah.
Because we were like, we only have to survive 18 months.
Yep.
And then those guys are going to be open.
The road's going to open up. They're going to open up.
They're going to
It's
open.
going to look
18 months, 2 years, it's going to look completely different.
Yep.
The road
Fresh.
opened.
Yep.
They haven't started. No, Fulton in front. That project was still kind of in limbo when we started here, but
What are the odds you think it actually gets completed?
30%.
Yeah, that's about where I'm at. I'm like 25.
I mean, it is a...
I've walked around it. We've talked about this before. It's not cheap building out something. That building needs a lot of freaking work.
And it's historic.
So
you can only, like, you're very limited on what you
So
can
unless
do.
you have just like $5 million of cash that you do not care, you will set ablaze
Are you talking about Fulton in front or the distillery?
the distillery.
Oh, I think that's going to happen.
You do?
I thought you were talking about Fulton.
No, I'm talking the distillery, the 482 South Front Street.
Yeah. Well, from what I understand, their budget keeps increasing
Yeah.
because of what that building needs.
Yeah, no, I'm telling you, they're going to set ablaze a couple $1 million, which,
Yeah.
that's what they want to do.
That building's going to be nice afterwards. Though.
Sorry, I shouldn't be on the air right now.
Nah, you are. We're live. So anyways, that pretty much wraps up my brewery district segment.
Yeah.
There's
So what's your best case scenario for the brewery district? What do you think? Like, what would you like to see happen down here? Reclaim the cultural hub that it once was with music, or something else?
I don't necessarily care if it's music. I think music would be sweet.
It would be cool.
I think there's a lot of places like already built out down here that could kind of draw that crowd.
Yeah.
And just like the style, the vibe, the look, and like the feel of the area.
Yeah.
You know, it reminds me a lot of like downtown Portland.
Yeah.
Or downtown Seattle, like all the old grungy areas where like that's what it was. Everything was just like a different music venue.
Yeah.
And they would bring in, you know, good bands. It wasn't all like people's garage bands.
Yeah.
You know. But I think a music scene would be cool down here. But I think there's no reason it can't get back to what it was. And it might not be as big of a nightlife scene, but I think it's going to, in the next 3 to 4 years, I think it's going to look a lot different down here as far as open businesses. And it's so close to downtown, and there's nowhere else that's this vacant, this close to downtown.
Yeah.
You know, and the price is relatively cheap for what you can get down here. It's not too bad.
Price to risk is weird, though. That's the thing.
It could sing.
Because it's like, I don't think anyone with money is looking at this spot as like they're looking to not lose money. And I think there's a huge, huge, huge risk when you do an assessment. It's like, I could put something here, or I could put something like over here that's a little bit more expensive, but I know I'm going to have business out the gate. And so like most people, I think with experience, aren't looking at this spot and being like, yeah, that's a great opportunity. It's for those people who are like ready to get in the trenches and like claw and like build something. But
it's going to take a big
it's
money
it's
developer.
not quick cash. You're not going to find quick cash down here. I don't think.
It's going to take a big money developer to like build out that big. If you put in the Fulton in front, then everyone would come running. You know, but if that doesn't happen, then it's like people are not going to wait around to see if somebody's going to build something or not. They're going to move on and pick somewhere else. That's why.
Well, I mean, in the 90s, it didn't have anything. It was a Waterstrom building, which was like a restaurant depot kind of thing. So, I don't know.
Maybe it was easier to open a business in the 90s.
Perhaps. Everything was cheaper. Gas was lower.
Everyone was just like, let's open a bar.
Yeah.
We can afford it.
Yeah.
No, I don't know. I think there's 2 ways the brewery district comes back. Other people are going to start putting stuff down here, or we're going to do what we said all along and do it ourselves. And then all of our businesses are going to sink.
Yeah, we'll be underground in 20 years.
Yeah. You never know. All right. You want to talk about your wiener hunt?
Yeah. So, I mean, we've talked about this. We did the burger dog, what was that, 2 weeks ago now? That was our second time doing it. But Falter's, the guy we get our beef from, they have their own brand of kind of like a sausage. It's not really a brat. It's not really a hot dog, but it's a smoked sausage that they call Cheddar Devils. The first one they built out was like very much a lot of jalapeno, a lot of cheddar, as much as you could possibly pack into a sausage. And it's fantastic. It's a little spicy. So they just came out with another one that was more mild. But so they have two at this point, a spicy and a mild version. But I think we've always played with the idea of eventually adding it to our menu. And now that beef prices is continuing to like escalate, we have to kind of diversify our menu just so like we're not completely having forced to raise our prices another $2, $3, $4 or whatever, however many dollars to meet up with like cost of goods. And so dogs have been an idea that I've wanted to put on. So I did a little bit of my own market research last week, and I tried some of the Columbus's most famous hot dog places. Very well rated, very well spoken of. Obviously, there's Schmitz with the Bahama Mama. I didn't have to try them. I know what they are. They're fantastic, but they're different. Very German style brat that's spicy, but not like cheesy. And expensive. Have you ever looked how much they are just for the dog? Not a platter, which you can't just get the dog like on a bun. It has to come with potato salad. But just that, like
it's like $14, isn't it?
It's like $12.
Yeah.
12, $13.
I think it's $14
the platter,
at the Blue Jackets game.
The platter, I think, is like $16. Yeah. Crazy. That's a little bit too much. I don't want a dog that's much. So I tried Dirty Franks and Tasty Dogs this week. They're really not that far away from us, about a half mile towards downtown. And they were okay. They're on the cheaper side. So I think Dirty Franks, I just got the plain Jane, the birthday suit, I think they called it. It was literally just bun.
It's a hell of a name.
Yeah, it's a poppy seed bun with a all beef dog. The snap on it, when you take a bite, fantastic. It had a really good bite. But the dog itself didn't have the most flavor I've ever had.
Just a hot dog.
And it felt like the dog itself was kind of like swimming in the bun. So still pretty good. I mean, it was like $4.50. So you get two of those, it'll fill you up. Not bad. Good value there, but average. And then I went Tasty Dogs. I did the All-American because we have an All-American on our menu. It just seemed like it fit. But it came on, again, poppy seed bun, all beef dog. It had relish, white onion, ketchup, and mustard. Standard hot dog fare. And their relish was like that really bright green color. Really good. I like that. The toppings were probably the best part of that, but it was a lot. It was a thicker dog, better bun to meat ratio. And I think that was like $6, but I'd give that like a solid 7.5 out of 8. But again, both of those places, they're all beef dogs. They have a much different flavor profile than like a sausage would, like a smoked sausage, especially one that's full with cheddar and sometimes jalapeno. And so
smashed on a griddle.
So I think like we have a real opportunity to have like present something to the market that's different enough from already these giants that I think we could kind of like make a name for it and be popular with what we offer. Because you try to like the only place I think you can get Cheddar Devils right now is through Falter's website. They used to sell them at Kroger's.
They don't sell them at Kroger anymore?
This one they don't. I haven't seen them in a while. They might sell. They probably sell them at other ones, but like unless you know, you might not necessarily want to. Run the buy that. So I think it would be a cool thing that we could partner with them on and kind of like help push that because I know that's something that they want to push in the future.
Yeah, and it'd be an easy thing for us to do online as well.
Yeah,
that will travel well.
Yeah.
So that'd be cool. I'm excited about that. What do you think, next 2 weeks?
Yeah, I think if not next week, the week after. We'll have to do a kind of a new menu. That's the only thing is we have to print all new menus and stuff. which is a bit of a pain.
Yep.
But I think there's other changes we want to make anyway, so it kind of fits up.
Yeah.
We basically change our printed menus every 3 months or so. So it's about that time.
And luckily, it's like $50.
Yeah.
FedEx.
Yeah.
We create it all. They print it, laminate it, $50, and you get 20 or 30 of them, and then redo it in a couple months.
Yeah.
Cheap and easy. Yeah. No, I am actually excited for those. And our lunch is heavy corporate, and people come down here a lot. So I think anytime we can add something else to the menu that's not a cheeseburger, these people are going to take advantage of it. You know, I might not go buy a cheeseburger every day, but if I can hop over and get a $6, $7 cheddar double.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we'll have to. I think we have most of it figured out. I still want to find like the perfect bun for it, and then toppings and stuff if we want to do anything crazy with that.
That'll be a segment for next week. Cole's Buns Hunt.
Yeah. Hell yeah.
Wieners this week and buns next week. No, I mean, the bun is important.
Yeah. I think we do brioche, and I want to do a top slit. So not side slit. I want it top, and then you folds open. Sits right in there. You don't like top slit? Why?
Schmitz does it.
Oh, do they? Oh, fuck that. Yeah, we can't do that.
That's what Schmitz. I don't know. I don't know. Maybe that's a Columbus thing. I don't think I'd ever seen it before I came out here. Top slit. I'm a side slit guy.
We'll do side slits if you want.
Bottom slit, is that a thing?
Bottom slit, probably.
Maybe.
Brioche? Poppy seed? I didn't care for the poppy seed. It's too messy.
Yeah, I don't really get the point.
It's hard to eat in your car without getting poppy seeds all over the place.
Yeah, I want, it's got to be not too much bread.
Yeah, that's the other
too
thing.
I mean, the cheddar devils are pretty good sized dogs. They're not small. It's not like a ballpark.
Yeah.
It's probably twice the size of a ballpark, but yeah, it's a good sized dog. But also, we use those. What are the buns we use for the burger dog? Like almost like a hoagie roll.
Yeah.
Which
those are too big.
But it's too big for just the dog.
Yeah.
With the dog and the burger, it worked. But
yeah.
Are we gonna add an option to put a patty on your burger or on your dog?
Obviously, come on. I don't think very many people do. I don't think we advertise that you can do it, but if someone asks, we can do it.
Yeah. Not on like DoorDash.
No.
Make it a double, triple burger with the dog.
I think you could only do a single. I don't think it would.
It wouldn't hold.
Structurally hold if we did it.
No, you'd have to upgrade your bun
for sure.
All right. Well, where we're at on our journey, we're
took about a 5 or 6% drop from the prior week. So our sales last week were $21,310. Still not bad. Still sitting pretty in the over 20K.
Mm-hmm.
I think we've been at that level for the last 4 or 5 months now. Or weeks, sorry. 4 or 5 weeks.
So this last week was our 6th week in a row.
6th week?
Over 21,000, yeah.
All right, so that's amazing. That's much more than what we were doing pretty much at any time prior to this.
Yeah, I mean, October was our first time hitting 20,000.
Yeah.
And now we have 6 weeks in a row hitting 21,000. So that's great. If that's our, if 20,000 is a bad week for us, that's good.
That's where we need to be.
That's ideally where we need to be. But yeah, we finished up last week 21,310.
Did you take a look at what our liquor sales were at all? I don't think we did that great for like bar sales.
No,
so I mean, that's always an area we can improve. I think that's an easy couple $500 to $1,000 we can gain on if we can just figure out how to unlock that part of our business.
And it has been growing. I mean, we're getting more and more regulars. We got a Friday happy hour group that's been swinging through every Friday.
They broke our lights on the
patio. They broke our
patio.
Christmas lights. No hard feelings. I'll replace them. I wanted to replace them anyways with not purple and orange. But I was like 100 feet or more of Christmas lights that I zip tied up there. So I wasn't looking to do it this soon, but at least the weather's nice. We were hoping that this month was going to be our first $100,000 month. Not looking so promising, but I think we're going to be very close if we don't hit it. We'll see how this weekend turns out, but could happen. We got a couple YouTube comments of the week. One of them from Jack Kuhn, who said you guys should do a pod on past restaurants in the brewery district that are no longer open. Good history there. Well, Jack, I got good news for you. We just did it.
There you go. Now you can comment and say how wonderful we did.
Or terrible.
Yeah.
You guys missed all sorts of stuff.
Educate us.
Yeah. No, there is a ton of history down here.
Yeah, it's cool.
It's hard to keep up with all of it.
I mean, we didn't even really go into like its founding and like how it became the brewery district, which we can save that for another podcast. There's a whole book on it if you guys are interested.
Should we read the book on the podcast?
I have the book, but no, we shouldn't read it on the podcast.
Like a 12-hour stream of just you reading?
I could probably knock it out in like 2.5 hours. It's not a very big book. I think it's like the German heritage of Columbus, and the brewery district is like 2 chapters. So it'd take me actually probably like 30 minutes.
Oh, there we go.
Yeah, we'll do
Do a
photos
whole
and everything.
episode. Cole reading a book. Another great comment we got this week was after last week's episode where we talked about beef prices. G. Bajorno said, really interesting stuff, guys. Can you talk about the price of chicken next? I think there's a little sarcasm there. But,
Do you? I think that was genuine, and I would love to talk about chicken.
Chicken hasn't gone up or down too much in the last couple of years.
And there's a reason for that.
All right.
We've talked about it briefly about the like the meat racket, and talking about Tyson and how they basically monopolized the chicken industry.
Mm-hmm.
But we'll save that for another cast.
Yeah.
I have to refresh.
Bajorno, we got you. Whether you're being sarcastic or not, we're going to talk about chicken prices.
It's the chicken market is fascinating. I think we got to get Jason on. He probably knows a little bit more about the meat markets than we do, but the chicken market is pretty crazy. And how it's kind of like all consolidated into 3 major companies that own everything, and that there's like a hybrid slave labor that they do to get people to do chicken coops for eggs and chickens. It's freaking nuts.
Sounds interesting.
Yeah, we should actually get into that. I don't know if he's being sarcastic, but
Bajorno, comment again this week and let us know if you're being. Well, I'll respond to you and be like, "Do you really want this? Because if you do, I
got you, man.
Cole's got you.
Chicken's on our menu. It's applicable."
Yeah, our last great comment of the week was from Roner4313,
and I full-heartedly agree with
He said mullets are gay. Thank you for that.
I actually don't think that. I don't approve of that kind of language, honestly.
No, it's just
low
rude.
brow. It's like, come on.
But I don't have it anymore.
It's
No one here has a
2026.
mullet, so relax. Couldn't believe you said that.
What time are we at? Where are we at on
about
this?
55 minutes.
You want to wrap this up, or do you want to?
So.
Yeah,
Unless you got
seems
anything
like
else
it.
you
I
want to
don't.
yap
I got to
about?
get back in the kitchen, honestly.
Yep, we got things to do. People, we're busy. But as always, thanks for our board of advisors of jumping in here and throwing some chats in the comments so we have something to talk about. Again, shout out to Echo Spirits and Brandon Goodyear. Go check them out. They're doing great things. You got anything else?
Yeah, we got exciting things to report back on next week, but we'll leave you guys on that.
Yeah, major exciting
stuff. I'm really excited about this.
Huge things. All right, we're out of here. We will smash you later.